You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
This has like a mom's basement kind of feel.
Mom! Mom! Mom!
Still some stuff in the basement.
What basement?
Mom's Basement with Joe Frank. That is quite possibly the dumbest thing I think you've ever said. And Corey Diab.
I can't believe I take part in this show.
Welcome to this episode of Mom's Basement here on YouTube and iTunes. As always, I'm Joe. That is Corey, as you can see to my right, your left on the wonderful screen you are watching us on. Thank you so much for tuning in to us once again. Not too much to get into today, mainly just going to go back over what we did last week. But unfortunately, technical difficulties struck once again.
Motherfucker didn't charge either set of batteries.
I blame Corey. He's the responsible one. Me? I guess I forgot to charge the
I
batteries.
don't live in the house where Mom's Basement is fucking filmed, so if the batteries don't get charged, it's
Next
not
week, we're
my
going to be
problem.
live from Corey's basement. Fun fact now.
No, we are not.
Special guest Nazer Diab going to
Oh
be on
my
the
god,
podcast.
that's not even how you pronounce his name.
Nasser Diab.
Not even close. Continue.
Okay, Corey doesn't want me to pronounce his dad's name the right way. Anyways, not too much to get into. They're going to talk a little bit of Bears, Packers, a little bit of the Bulls, the 2-8 Bulls for that matter. It's a yikes. And then MLB free agency. Shohei Ohtani is officially going to be coming over to the MLB. Discuss that a little bit.
I thought you were about to say the Cubs. I was giving like the stink eye to the camera.
Well,
no.
they just never know these days, you know what I mean?
Shut your fucking
And then we're going to go through this article on MLBTradeRumors.com talking about the predicted destinations and contracts of the top 50 free agents on the market. Obviously, we'll not do every single one.
We totally started that last week, and then just
We did, no.
shit just hit the fucking fan.
We just were like, it was late. We were both tired. I had to work the next day. Corey had to work the next day. We were like, we'll just scrap it. And here we are a week later. But before we jump into any of that, make sure you're checking out the Crossover Report at crossoverreport.com and Crossover Report on all social medias. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. And this episode of Mom's Basement is brought to you by Stugatz Entertainment. Stugatz Entertainment on SoundCloud, brought to you by Brandon Bailey, CEO of Stugatz Entertainment.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Sponsoring this episode of Mom's Basement. Now let's jump into it. Bears, Packers, Corey. It's Packer Week. It is Packer Week. I saw Olin Kreutz tweet out a picture of him today like this.
We're gonna be a gift because of that too now.
Hey Mike, make me into a gif of this. I hate you.
Wow.
Anyways, he's not watching this, so it doesn't even matter. Baseball's over. He doesn't give a fuck about us anymore. We're going to keep going. And by the way, if you don't know who Mike is, that's Shy Sox Fan Mike on Twitter. If you want to go report his account, be my guest. It'll hopefully be effective. Get him off Twitter because he is better off without the ability to access the internet. In my own so humble opinion. I believe Corey agrees with me.
I didn't say anything.
But Bears-Packers, big game for the Bears, honestly. You know, we've said it for weeks now. The division is wide open because of the injury to Aaron Rodgers and that broken clavicle. I'm getting medical on you, Corey. So the Bears could have the potential to be 4-5.
I have no medical background whatsoever, right?
None, zero,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
Obviously, why do you think I said that?
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
Bears can go to 4-5 with the win. That would push Green Bay to 4-5 as well. And the Bears, I mean, this is just a game I think they need to get, and I think they will get, coming off a loss to the Saints, and they had the bye week, so I'm going to make my call out of the week.
A loss to the Saints where the fucking Zach Miller should have had that fucking touchdown. That's okay.
We're not going to revisit the leg thing because it's just traumatic.
Yeah, but
it's just traumatic. Anyways, I'm going to make my call out of the week early on this episode of Mom's Basement. I'm calling out the Bears offense, specifically Mitchell Trubisky and Donald Loggins. You need to get your shit together. Plain and simple, averaging about 16 points a game. Not going to get it done. The Bears only have 134 points for them in 8 games. Come on. You got to do better than this. You got to let the number 2 pick fly like he's a peacock. Shout out Mark Wahlberg in that movie that the other guys. I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. You got to let Trubisky fly. You got to let him throw the ball around, sling it to the weapons he doesn't have. Who cares? See what he can do. Just see what's going to happen.
His best pass catcher almost just lost his fucking leg.
You got to see what he can do. I mean, Donald Loggins is obviously a horrific offensive coordinator. He can't run a scheme, can't scheme the
I
wide
can't
open.
count the number of times he's called for 2-yard passes or 1-yard passes when they're third and short. You know, he's just an awful coordinator, and at this point, I'm concerned about Mitchell Trubisky's long-term status, as whether or not he's going to be successful or be a bust if John Fox is here beyond this year.
John Fox will not be here.
I don't think he will be either, but the Bears have made stupid mistakes before, so.
He will not be here. Funny you should mention John Fox because we were actually just reading an article before the show just for fun. It's an article from Dan Graziano, ESPN.com, predicting the Bears' 2020 quarterback. And obviously, they still have Mitchell Trubisky atop that list as a quarterback. But in the information section on the article, it says, new head coach, Corey. And who's the new head coach?
Jim Harbaugh.
They have Jim Harbaugh heading the Chicago Bears starting next season. And he was obviously still there in 2020. So, Dan Graziano might know something we don't know.
I'd fucking love if Jim Harbaugh was the coach. I'd settle for Jim Bob Cooter, but man.
Jim Bob Cooter is who I want. And he's my number one. I've said that since before the season, I think I was saying Jim Bob Cooter.
You and Aaron Lemming, I think both of you guys have been on it, but man, Jim Harbaugh would be. I know Jim Harbaugh coming back to the NFL is like a fantasy at this point.
Well, Michigan not living up to the standards. They don't win big games there, so he could leave. He could very well leave.
I feel like it's one of those things where too Ryan Pace is going to feel the pressure because he knows this head coach is going to be his head coach that he gets tied to, and he's going to have to go after a big name or go after the best signing possible. And I think he's going to certainly reach out to Jim Harbaugh. I mean, it's a great.
Oh, absolutely!
It's a great opportunity to develop a young quarterback.
Take a flyer on Harbaugh. Hopefully, they reach out to John Gruden. That's a pipe dream, obviously. But we've heard that already 6 teams, 5 college, all Power 5 schools, and 1 NFL team have reached out to Gruden. Personally, I just want to see Gruden coaching in the NFL.
Yeah.
He knows too much, and he's too good at being an NFL coach or heading a program somewhere to be in the booth.
And then get Tony Romo to be your offensive coordinator.
Dude, Tony Romo would be a phenomenal offensive coordinator.
Tony Romo has a great football mind, obviously.
He does. He's a great analyst. Some people don't like the spoiler alert. Some people think he gets too excited. I personally like that because it lets me know he's got passion for what he's doing, even though he obviously is not on the field anymore, which is probably what he wishes he could be doing, wishes the body was healthy enough. But next best thing, listen, I'm going to give you guys my all every week. That's great. Back to the Bears really quick. It's been a tale of two teams, essentially, for me. The offense has been horrible, bottom of the league. The defense has been amazing. Almost top of the league in a lot of categories. And we basically knew that was going to happen coming in there. 13th in points against. Mind you, they've been on the field a lot because sometimes, especially with Mike Glennon heading the offense, they were 3 and out, turnover here, give the ball away in the red zone. Like, just a lot of stupid stuff like that. But passing yards, they rank dead last in. But rushing yards, we obviously know Jordan Howard is a very good running back. Combined with Tariq Cohen, they are 6th in rushing yards per game, and they don't score a lot of points. We mentioned that 16.8. So it's pretty clear what you got to do. You got to lock it down on defense as usual. Should be easy. Brett Hundley, garbage quarterback, trash can. Basically, every backup quarterback in the NFL is a human trash can.
Yeah, you're a backup for a reason.
Backup quarterback, best job in sports. You
really
get paid a decent amount of money. You don't got to do anything. And if you're behind a star, you'll never see the field. So
Brett Hundley's going to have a really bad week this week, and just like every other week's been for him. And the Bears should win this football game. I think they're 5.5-point favorites right now, and I think they should be. I mean, they should win this game.
Big stretch for the Bears.
Yeah,
they play the Lions next week. Then they go to Philadelphia. So you gotta split these division games here. You've got to split them if you want any shot because you're probably not beating the Eagles, but you do have an opportunity to beat 49ers, Bengals, Browns. You got 3 of those games coming up after those weeks, so not looking probable for the Bears to make a postseason run as we figured. But the Aaron Rodgers injury changed everything. But who knows what happens on the stretch if Trubisky can get something going here. All right, let's transition to the joke in the NBA. The 2-8 Chicago Bulls. They got
2-8, love it.
They got blasted by Indiana last night at the United Center, 105-87. Victor Oladipo, the only thing I saw from him all night was him doing a 360 dunk after the Bulls had a horrible turnover. I saw Chris Dunn to fumble a wide open layup out of bounds. So this is basically what you expected from the Bulls. I can't wait for Zach LaVine to get on the floor. Lauri Markkanen looks like an absolute
had another
monster.
double last night, 12 and 10.
I've seen him go into the lane with the left, seen him go into the lane with the right. I've seen him pull up for jump shots. He looks really athletic.
He's legit.
Looks very, very good. Looks polished for a young kid. So Markkanen definitely must watch for me. He's leading the team in scoring, 15.4 a game. And then there's the rest of the team.
I mean, Bobby Portis had 21 and 13 last night. But
Bobby, knock your lights out.
Yeah.
Portis is back, and he's back with a vengeance. And I don't understand what they're doing here. I read an article that him and Mirotic haven't spoken since.
Well, that's got to be real healthy for the team.
So what are you going to do when Mirotic is healthy and ready to go back?
Neither of these guys are key contributors long term. I think they're just kind of letting it sit, you know.
But I mean, NBA teams, NBA GMs are not stupid. They probably know that you're going to try.
Guard packs are pretty fucking stupid.
Other than guard packs, I'd say they're going to know that you're going to try to unload one of these guys.
Fred
probably.
Hoiberg's pretty fucking stupid.
So
too.
what value do they have?
None
in my mind. Because one, they're not even good players.
They're bodies that, well, Nikola's not filling minutes right now, but they're bodies that can fill minutes and get you through the first year of a rebuild and get you a top 3 pick in the draft, which is the ultimate goal. I mean,
and it just makes you wonder, why the hell did they trade Jordan Bell? I didn't mean to rhyme there, but
it wasn't that good of a rhyme, so we could just let it go.
Ouch! You won't be saying that when the diss track drops.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not gonna drop, but.
What do you mean it's not? It's dropping. I've got people working on this with me.
You have no one. Anywho,
I got Matt Cole, and I've reached out to Vito DiBiase. Shout out Vito if you're watching this.
He's not. But anywho, so Jordan Bell, trading him, they got like, what, $3.5 million back?
Yeah, it was something stupid like that.
It
Just
was
money.
really dumb.
Yeah,
I
money.
mean,
They traded for money. I don't know why the Bulls don't need money. You're the third biggest market in the sport.
It's not. This team's not going to be exciting until the draft next year when they have the 1, 2, or 3 pick.
That's all you have to look forward to is getting a top 3 pick, getting a really good young player in here, and then
you got to stop winning pointless games, and they really haven't so far. 2-8 is a 200 winning percentage. That's pretty fucking shitty.
Basically, what they need to have a good lottery odds.
They're playing. What are they playing? They're playing San Antonio and OKC their next 2 games. Hopefully, they just get blown.
They're going to be
2-10. Yeah, they're going to get blown out.
Even San Antonio without Kawhi Leonard is going to beat the Bulls tonight. So
yeah, so they're a bad team, and you just got to wait till next June for them to have the draft.
And then we got the All-Star game in 2020 coming back.
Oh yeah. That's.
I don't care about the All-Star game as much as I care about the.
Hopefully, the Bulls have a couple All-Stars in that game because you'll have Markkanen at that time. You'll have whoever they take in the first round, maybe.
Yeah,
hopefully,
and Levine
if they don't bust, and yeah, Zach Levine too. So. There's a future to look forward to for Bulls fans, but right now you're just kind of pushing away all the mud and waiting it out till June so you can see something more clearly.
All right, Corey, do you have a call out of the week this week?
I do have a call out of the week, and it's great that we're transitioning into baseball because I want to call out every single motherfucking Chicago Cub fan who thinks that because Theo is in Chicago and that his shit doesn't stink, that fucking Shohei Ohtani is going to settle for 1/10 of what he could be making in a bigger market or on an equally as promising baseball team like the New York Yankees. That the Cubs can only spend $300,000 on Shohei Ohtani. The New York Yankees can give him $3 million plus. The Yankees have a young core in place, and anytime you talk to a Cub fan about Shohei Ohtani, the only thing they can say is, "Oh well, it's fucking Theo. We got fucking Theo." I don't give a shit if you fucking Theo. If you're asking somebody to take 10% of what his market value is, and you're saying, "Oh well, it's because this executive really wants him," and all this bullshit, you're not going to get him. I would love. Now, as a White Sox fan, I love that the possibility that Rick Hahn could even talk to Shohei Ohtani's representatives about him, and they can only afford $300K for him. I mean, would I like him to be on the White Sox? Absolutely. Am I expecting it? Fuck no. Because it's 1/10 of what he could be making somewhere else. The Yankees have a great young core who are ready to win right fucking now, and if Ohtani can contribute to that, then he's going to be a Yankee. The Cub fans are the fucking worst when you make a logical argument to them, and their only response is, "Oh, well, we got Theo." We got Theo.
Well, I'm not.
You know what Theo gave you? He gave you 8 years of Jason Hayward.
He also gave us a world champion.
I don't give a flying fuck about that.
I do.
We're talking about his player personnel decision makings in free agency, and Jason Hayward is fucking god awful, and Shohei Ohtani is not going to be.
Let's see about a couple free agents who contributed. John Lester, really good signing. Ben Zobrist, that worked out.
And you know why they got those guys? Because they had money to fucking give them. A guy's not signing for $300,000 when he could be signing for
Lester
$3
took
million.
less money to come to the Cubs.
Less
Hayward.
money. He took $144 fucking million.
Still less money than he could have gotten. He had offers for more money.
That is less than 1% of what. No.
It's still less money.
Shohei Ohtani's money is well under 1% of what John Lester's making.
Okay,
is making.
I'm just saying they
$300K.
both took less.
I don't give a
money.
shit. I don't give a shit. Shohei Ohtani, did John Lester take 10% of what he could have made on the open market?
First of all, I don't think Shohei Ohtani is going to be a Cub.
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah, I'm not pointing at you as much as I'm. That's why you asked me, is it about you? I said not specifically, because every single Cub fan you try to have a reasonable argument with, they say, "Oh well, we got fucking Theo."
All I'll say is it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's like a less than 1% chance of happening.
What was Derrick Rose percentage?
1.7.
1.7.
What does that? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm just busting your balls at this point.
Nothing. Some Cub fans are the fucking worst.
I love when Corey gets worked up like this. I really do.
Some Cub fans really piss me off.
Yeah, I feel the same way about some White Sox fans.
Yeah, except I don't write a fucking diss track about some 18-year-old dude on Twitter.
I didn't write it yet.
Uh-huh.
You don't know who it's going to be about. You just
at Shy Sox fan Mike, there's a diss track coming about.
You never,
not for me,
ever know what I'll do. Listen, if I got free time to get this done, and
your brother is shaking his head off camera right now because he knows I'm right.
He can do whatever he wants behind that camera. I don't care. Anyway,
don't say that.
I want to cite. I'm glad you made it about Ohtani because I want to cite an article that I saw today. I know you saw it because you quoted it, I believe.
Yeah, I did.
From Patrick Mooney, the Cubs insider, how the Cubs will make their sales pitch to Ohtani.
Here's their sales pitch: $300,000. Take it or leave it. Right?
Well, yeah, that's all they can do.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But you could talk to him about the city of Chicago. So this is all from the article. City of Chicago. Basically, we've done a lot of upgrades.
So wait. Let's side by side. White Sox have that same argument. Continue.
South side of Chicago compared to north side of Chicago, not the same. Not the same. Nicer.
We're good.
Not the same. Nice, greater, better fan base on the north side. People don't
Hate
go out. People don't go out to the south side. It's a fucking fact. They're the bottom of the league in attendance every year.
I mean, I don't give a shit about attendance numbers. Shohei Ohtani isn't going to come to a team because of attendance
I'm not saying.
numbers.
I'm just saying this is all what he says in the article, essentially.
When Shohei Ohtani asks, can you offer me any money, what are the Cubs going to say?
The only one who knows if he wants the most money now or if he wants to play for a team that's a winner, like the Cubs have won a World Series,
or the
both,
Yankees
or both,
can give him both.
Or both.
The Yankees can give him both.
But the Yankees haven't won a World Series.
The Yankees made it to the fucking ALCS a year before they were supposed to.
And then fired their manager.
Yeah, that
And if they hire Aaron Boone, that's a joke because he doesn't deserve to be a manager in the major leagues. I'm sorry.
I saw somebody today say that maybe they should go after David Ross, and I didn't think that'd be the worst thing in the world. To be perfectly honest,
I don't think David Ross should be a manager either. Basically, that's just
I love former catchers as a manager, but that's just my little personal.
I didn't think David Ross should have been the bench coach. I'm glad the Cubs didn't make that move. I'm glad they did not.
They have fucking Rick Renteria's former head coach or bench coach, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right now, but
anyways,
regardless,
I don't think he's going to be a Cub. I do not. They're obviously capped at 300,000.
I'm telling
maximum.
you, I'm hoping he doesn't become a Twin. That'd be some.
Actually,
fuckery.
that'd be fun.
That'd be some fuckery.
Because one, no one thinks he's going to be a Twin. No one thinks that the Twins are even going to become close to anyone like Arrieta or Darvish, even though they're rumored to be in because they want to win. Because I mean, guess what? They just went to the playoffs without their best player. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that'd be cool. I don't think he's going to be a Cub. I don't think it's impossible. I don't, because what if he wants to come to a team? Now, what if the Cubs sign Yu Darvish? Ohtani has been cited saying,
besides the fact that that'd be a horrible signing, but
right?
continue.
Yeah, no. He's been cited saying, "I want to play with you. I look up to you. I want to be on a team with him." That's why I thought originally, if Darvish was a Ranger, he would go to the Rangers. It wouldn't even be a contest. But who knows? Who knows? I think that could play a factor. Personally,
but you can't ask somebody to give up 90% of what they're earning value.
Obviously.
That's just.
If it was me, I would take the most money and be gone. Because one, I'm coming from a different league. I'm coming from a different country. What happens if I go here and I bust out? Mm-hmm. Then what? Then I didn't take the most money. Now I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So that would be me. I would be not one to bet on myself.
Yeah, I think he's the most. I honestly think he's the most interesting name on the free agent market this year. I don't think anybody else is, remotely as polarizing or causes this much heat between fans and whatnot. I think that if the kid's gonna come over here and be a stud, he's 23 years old.
23 years old.
Yeah, he's the most interesting name on the market right now.
Very interesting. One, I'm not sold on the fact that he's going to play a position other than pitcher. He might DH. And again, I'm still skeptical.
They'll give him a chance to. I mean,
I'm sure they will. That's
another thing too.
Can you defend first base at a major league level? Can you defend left field?
That's the thing too. If the Cubs, let's say in theory the Cubs do sign Shohei Ohtani and he doesn't need a lot of time in the minors or any time in the minors. You bring him up, he's just pitching every fifth day. He doesn't hit any other time, and he wants to do both. Because is he going to take at bats away from Anthony Rizzo?
No, he's going to take. If he comes up and hits, and he's on the Cubs, and you play him in right, Sid Hayward. I mean, who cares? Honestly.
Those defensive corners in outfield, you'd have Schwarber and fucking
And a
Ohtani,
pitcher.
who has never played outfield.
Yeah, I mean
that poor Almora is going to be having his work cut out for him on both sides.
good. I want Elmore to be working hard.
Yeah, but regardless, I just he's going to be a Yankee. My thoughts. Kill for him to be a White Sox, I would, but not going to happen.
I don't know. If I had to put money down on this, I'd say he'd go to the Yankees also, just because
The money and
the
young core. It's not just like the Yankees are a depleted team. They have a really good young core.
it just wouldn't make sense. You'd go there with another guy from Japan. You have Tanaka there. He opted in, so that would be
That's true. Tanaka did opt in.
Saravino, Tanaka, Ohtani as their top three, and they have a lot of money to kind of go out and still add. They could still add a guy like Jake Arrieta.
And they're going to sign Bryce Harper in a couple of years, maybe.
No, Brycey's a Cub.
Oh,
Sorry to break that to you.
I don't think so, Tim.
Haven't you seen the paintings?
I don't give a fuck about the paintings.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say. Like, we'll talk about that next year when Manny Machado's signing on the south side. But
And Brycey's coming to the north.
Nah.
And I unveiled my Bryce Harper jersey on the podcast.
I really hope he changes his number. So he bought the wrong jersey.
Well, I'm going to wait till they're printed.
How can you reveal it on the podcast then?
Well, I'm going to buy my own jersey after.
Ah,
And then
okay.
reveal my jersey to the podcast specifically. I'm not going to guess his number and print my own jersey and then fucking hope that I'm right.
Yeah,
That would be an awful investment.
You've done stupid shit before, like write a diss track for an 18-year-old boy.
I didn't write a diss track. I want to write a diss track about Sox fans because they really pissed me off.
Who pisses you off the most? At Chai Sox fan Mike.
Okay, now we're going to transition again from Ohtani. Obviously, he's the most popular name on the market for anybody who knows baseball well and has been following his story for a couple of years now. We're going to take a look at that MLB Trade Rumors article, top 50 free agents, where are they going to be, how much money are they going to sign for. We're just going to react to the names, essentially. We did this last week, but like we said...
Oh yeah, we did, and it got cut off.
He gone. Anyways,
Fuck your camera.
Number one on the list is Yu Darvish. They have him going to the 2016 champions, the Cubs,
Okay.
for $160 million over 6 years.
Now, I don't see why you would give him that money, but not give Arrieta that money.
Basically, yeah, I agree, because Arrieta, they're the same age, they're months apart, but they're both 31. Arrieta has less innings. He's already proven that he can be a really good pitcher for the Cubs. Obviously won a Cy Young in 15. Very good in the playoffs this year again for them against the Dodgers. I don't see why you just wouldn't do that for Arrieta. We'll see what the Cubs do. I don't think they're going to get Yu Darvish personally. I don't think that's the route they're going to go.
I don't think that's a smart route to go either.
Correct, which is I don't think they're going to do it. They prefer to address this in different ways. I think they will. So I don't think Darvish is going to go to the Cubs.
No, I agree.
I'm not mad if he does.
No, because he's had a history of being a really good pitcher.
He's a good
before.
pitcher, yeah.
What is he? Where did I see it? He was he's a four-time All-Star for Texas, and he finished second in the Cy Young voting one of those years. But at the same time, he's older. He's got more mileage on his arm than Jake Arrieta, who has won a Cy Young award. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going to overpay an old pitcher, may as well overpay the guy that you've had for a number of years and you know what he can do.
Right.
But
and he's comfortable, all that stuff, because that plays a factor. It's hard to pitch in Wrigley, so.
Yep.
Number 2 on the list, J.D. Martinez. They got Red Sox, 6 years, 150.
Don't get it.
The more I think about this, the more I think it's a lock. I think
Why?
they're going to trade Jackie Bradley.
Okay, but if Jackie Bradley's going anywhere, it's going to be for like Giancarlo Stanton.
No, it's going to be for a pitcher.
You think he's going to go for a pitcher?
They need pitching badly. Look at why they got bounced in the playoffs the last 2 years.
Well, because
They can't pitch.
Because Chris Sale can't pitch in the playoffs.
They can't pitch. I mean, after Sale to top, they got nothing. They don't know what Price is. Porcello, obviously, fluke Cy Young Award winner. I don't think he's that
I just
good.
don't know how much value that Jackie Bradley has.
They have things to trade with Bradley. They have players in the system to trade with Bradley to get a good
Not
young
much.
pitcher. I mean, not much, but it's something. Bradley's a good player.
He is a good player.
He's underperformed offensively, great defensively, can patrol center field for anybody.
I think if they trade anybody, and it's as crazy as it sounds, they're going to have to sort of go like the route they did when they traded for Chris Sale. You trade Yohan Moncada. They might have to trade Andrew Benintendi.
I just don't.
And
I can't
as crazy as that sounds, he can get you the type of pitcher that you need.
He can get you anything you want.
Essentially, so he could get you a top-of-the-line pitcher as well. And then if you're the Red Sox and you're comfortable eating the money, you can trade a lesser, like maybe one top 100 prospect, which they only have one left, I think, and that's Jay Groom. You trade him and a couple other lower minor leaguers to the Marlins for Giancarlo Stanton and some cash. Stanton can fill the spot that Benintendi left as far as the outfield goes, and then you still have another really good pitcher that you got from the Benintendi trade. I think that's the route that's more likely to happen than something like a J.D. Martinez signing.
I definitely think they're going to trade Bradley, and if they trade Bradley, I think Martinez is going to the Red Sox. I don't know how much money. Apparently, his camp wants $200 million. I think that's ludicrous.
Which is crazy. I mean, you see the money hitters get in the offseason. This past offseason, what was it? Edwin Encarnacion got like 3 years, $30 million.
3 years, $60 million.
Or $60 million, whatever. Yeah. But still, that's not even close to $200 million.
Right.
And I mean, how old is JD Martinez? He's fucking in his 30s, I think. So yeah, I don't see that money there for him. But
teams are looking at 29 home runs in 62 games.
Yeah, but it was also a contract year for him, and
sure,
when has a player ever performed really well in a contract?
He's gonna have a market, so that could put the bidding up higher.
It could drive up the price, but I mean,
Giants and Cardinals are gonna be in on him as well. Giants' entire outfield needs a makeover and needs it badly. So
Giants, Cardinals, Red Sox, you see those names pop up. You see those names pop up for Martinez. You see him pop up for Stanton as well, and
all three of those teams have already had preliminary talks with the Marlins about Stanton. I assume next week at the GM meetings is when it's going to go down.
Yeah, those are really... I love the GM meetings. Those are fucking
We should go.
Times.
We should take a trip there next year. We'll just literally take a Mom's Basement road trip to the winter meetings.
Mom's podcast, or Mom's Basement podcast from the winter meetings.
Yeah, we should do that. I'm like 100%.
If I can meet Rick Hahn, I'll do it.
I'm like 150% serious we should do that next year.
I would shake Rick Hahn's hand and buy him anything he wanted, any beer he wanted.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going next year. You heard it here first. We're planning that trip. That's the vacation, the Mom's Basement vacation right there. If you want to contribute, we'll start a GoFundMe page. All right. Eric Hosmer's number 3 on the list. They got him staying in KC, 6 years, 132.
Don't get it.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I mean, if anyone's going to stay out of the free agents they have, it'll be Hosmer, I think, because he means the most of the team. I just think, I've been saying this for a month, 2 months now, I think he's a Yankee.
Yeah, it's just too perfect of a fit. I mean, he's 28 years old. He's looking for a longer-term deal with a lot of money, and he's looking for another shot to win. And what team has a need at first base and could help him really well with that short porch in right field and offers him a chance to win? It's the fucking Yankees.
Ding, ding.
I think it makes too much sense for it not to happen. They have the money. They have the young core. I think that's where he ultimately ends up. But whatever. If he wants to sign with KC and they have with their closing window, or their window's basically their window is closed. It's closed. So if he wants to stick around and be the veteran for whatever team Kansas City's going to have in 5 years, that's good on him. But I don't think that's his smart move.
He'll have a market. Red Sox will be in. I'm sure the Rockies will be in too. Hitting in Coors Field can be appealing. They signed Mark Reynolds to a deal this last offseason, and he went crazy in Coors Field, especially in the first half of the season. So,
also another thing that really pisses me off really quick about Eric fucking Hosmer is that he just won. I know it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing, but he just won the Silver Slugger Award at first base in the American League. Jose Abreu outperformed him in every single statistical category except for batting average. Jose Abreu hit 305, Eric Hosmer hit 318, but every other category, slugging, on base, homers, RBI, weighted runs created, Jose Abreu demolished him in those categories. So, fuck whoever is writing or voting on these fucking awards, and Jose Abreu should have won it easy.
I thought both first base Silver Slugger awards were messed up because Votto didn't win in the NL.
How does Joey Votto not win?
Joey
Votto is probably the most underrated player of this fucking generation, but at the same time, he needs to be winning some kind of award every year because he just fucking rakes and gets on base.
Number 4 on the list, Jake Arrieta, the 2015 Cy Young Award winner in the NL. They've got him. Brewers, 4 years, $100 million. I think this is dumb. I really do. I don't. The money, not so much the team. I don't see him signing with Milwaukee. I really don't. Like, at all. Like, no shot.
I mean, now, I think his name's Jimmy Nelson, because we were trying to talk about this.
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to bring back the points from last week.
Yeah, same.
What is it? The Brewers with Jimmy Nelson, he's out.
He slid into first base against the Cubs, and then tore his rotator cuff, so he's out.
How the fuck? Okay, and...
yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, he's going to be out for, I think it's like the first couple months of 2018 anyway, maybe a little longer. So I could see Jake Arrieta, because Nelson was their quote-unquote ace. So if you can bring Jake Arrieta in, the Brewers do have, a good amount of young talent coming up or already in the big league. So Jake Arrieta could be a veteran presence there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there, but at the same time, they're not the big market I think he fits. And I don't think, 4 years, $100 million, which is what they have on here, is going to get it done for him. I think he's going to want more than that.
Here's what I think. Cardinals, Astros, Rangers, Phillies, Yankees, Angels, Mariners, Braves, Twins, Dodgers. They've got 10 teams in.
Yeah, and a lot of those teams, well, a couple of those teams, you got the Yankees and Dodgers, who are Nationals as well, who are big market teams who can drive up the price. You have a team like the Astros, who has the pedigree of, hey, we just won a fucking World Series.
And we have Verlander, Keuchel. You come to that mix, we got a trio.
You have a team like the Phillies, who just have an ass load of money.
Mm-hmm.
You have even the fucking Angels. The Angels can sell them on, Mike Trout, I guess, but
LA lifestyle still.
Yeah, so, where does Milwaukee fit in that? I don't think Milwaukee fits anywhere in that. Milwaukee has, a decent young core, but he's going to have to pitch against his former team every year. And, maybe
he's not going to like that.
Maybe he likes the challenge, or maybe he just thinks, okay, is there a better route for me to get into the playoffs? And, I think he can find it in a different city with a different team.
Number 5, we're going to skip. Number 6, Mike Moustakas. Braves, 5 years, $85 million. Yeah, he's as good as gone. He's not going to be a Royal. Hit 38 home runs this year, so he is going to have a market for sure. And I think the Braves make some sense. They're getting closer to where they want to be as a team in this rebuild. And you know better than anybody how good their farm system is.
They have a really good farm system.
So they're getting closer to competing.
Yeah.
Moustakas could be a nice piece for them defensively and offensively at the hot corner.
Well, they would have really good corners. They would have Moustakas at third, and you'd have Freddie Freeman at first. The Braves would have Ronald Acuna coming up sometime this year. You would have Ozzie Albies at second. Or is he at short now? I don't know where he's at.
He played second this year.
I don't know where he's at with the whole Dansby Swanson situation anymore, because fuck Dansby Swanson's a fucking bust. But regardless, anywho.
Look at that trade now. Everyone thought the Braves ripped them off.
I feel like Dansby Swanson's going to end up being okay, but at the same time, it was just really satisfying to see him fucking suffer this year. It was super satisfying for me as a White Sox fan, but... the Braves are building something real nice. They're going to be a perennial playoff contender in the coming years. So Mike Moustakas, he's only 29. He could see this opportunity as, hey, in 2 years I'm going to be part of this, And I'm going to get a good amount of money. Yeah, and he's going to get a good amount of money too. So, I could see it. I could see the fit, and I think it'd be a good one.
Number 7, Lorenzo Cain, Giants, 4 years, $70 million. Yeah, this is basically a lock for me. They had the worst outfield in WAR, the Giants. They're going to be in on everybody with outfield
and defensive run saves as well.
Defensive run saves were atrocious for them because, you're starting... Hunter Pence is done, and you're starting Jared Parker in left field and Denard Span in center. This isn't 2013. This is going to be 2018. They need a whole new outfield. Lorenzo Cain's a nice piece. He has good base running, a great glove. He can hit power and contact. It's a big ballpark. He can cover a lot of ground in center. He's a guy I think fits very well there. He's going to have other teams in, so we'll see what happens, but I think Giants, great possibility.
And there's a point that I want to make and then a point I want to spin off on with that. So Lorenzo Cain received a qualifying offer from the Kansas City Royals, so that means that if he signs with the Giants or whatever, the Giants lose. I think now they've changed it to where I think it's a second-round pick you lose.
Every team's first pick is protected.
Is protected, yeah. So they would lose a second-round pick. So if the Giants are deciding, hey, we want to rebuild, we're going to keep going? Okay. If they decide that they don't want to lose that pick and they want to have as many draft picks as possible in the rebuild, then they're not going to want to give up that pick. And that transitions to the thought of the White Sox making an improvement in center field by signing Lorenzo Cain. I've seen some people float that idea out. And I don't think the White Sox are at a point where they can sign a guy whose first 2 years of his contract are probably going to be wasted before they get to a spot where they can contend for the playoffs. So, it depends on if the Giants decide to rebuild or not. If they do, I don't see them going after
I don't think they're rebuilding. I don't think... to rebuild...
I think they should.
Well, it's probably smarter for them to, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
You look at guys like Mad Bum, Buster Posey. You got all this money on the books. You got Brandon Bell. He can't stay healthy, but he's got money on the books. So that's a team I think... And, to be honest, they could get a lot if they got rid of a guy like Mad Bum and just start a rebuild right there. I don't think they will. The fans still want to win. They say, listen, as long as we got these cornerstone guys... we should be competing every year. But newsflash, NL West just had 3 teams make the playoffs. So it's not going to be it's going to be an uphill battle for sure for the Giants. Number 8, Wade Davis, former Cubs closer. He's got a qualifying offer attached as well. Astros 4 years, $60 million. I think this does make sense. I don't think the Cubs are in on Wade Davis at all. I
For
think
some
they'll
reason.
keep tabs on him.
For some reason, I mean,
They don't want to. I mean, they didn't want to pay Chapman. Do they want to pay Wade Davis?
well, aren't they paying somebody else later in this article as well?
They're in on 3 relievers later in this, like
Okay.
Addison Reed, Jake McGee, and somebody else. So, and
Okay.
then so
I mean, who would be the Cubs closer going into next year then?
your guess is as good as mine.
I mean, Wade Davis.
If they don't sign anybody, I'd say Carl Edwards.
I think that.
It's not going to be Strope. It's not going to be Rondo.
I think that home run ball that he gave up to Bryce Harper is still flying out.
Shattered his morale, that's for sure.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, I don't see. I mean, besides age, I don't see the Cubs' reason to not want to pay Wade Davis. But they didn't pay Chapman, and I guess ultimately that worked out for them. They got back to the playoffs, but at the same time, I think Wade Davis. He tormented the White Sox in the Central for a long time, so I know how good Wade Davis is. But
this bolsters a bullpen that just won a World Series.
Yeah.
Ken Giles is now a setup man.
And is it weird that I think 4 years and $60 million is a little too light for him?
It is. He's going to get more. He's going to get more money than 60.
I think he could get more money than that if he has a 4-year deal. $60 million on a shorter deal, like a 3-year deal, might be a little bit more realistic.
Just how I think this next one we're going to discuss, Greg Holland will get more money. 4 years, $50 million for Holland to the Cardinals. I think it makes sense. Cardinals are going to be in on closers because they're the Japanese player they have in their bullpen. I can't pronounce his first name.
Oh, cool.
But he's a free agent. They're going to lose Lance Lynn, a starter. I mean, they're going to need help pitching. So I think they'll be in on just about every closer possible. 4 years, 50 though. This guy, he is going to get more money than this.
Yeah,
flat out.
Well, what was it? He's betting on himself, which I like, but also he put up these numbers in fucking cores.
Yeah.
I mean, he earns, what is he? He earned Cy Young votes and he had All-Star nods and all that good stuff this year. I mean, he's just a really good pitcher, really good closer, and I like that he bet on himself with taking the deal with the Rockies. I like that he's turning down $17.4 million, and he's going to get paid on the open market. He's going to absolutely get paid.
Absolutely, and the next one we're just going to touch over Alex Cobb. You already know. I think he's basically a lock to go to the Cubs. So not even going to discuss that one, but we're going to move to Addison Reed.
Former White Sox closer Addison Reed.
They've got him to the Cubs 4 years for $36 million.
That's a lot of money for Addison Reed.
He's had a really, really good year this past season, so he is looking to get paid.
Over the last 2 years, he's been pretty good too.
He has kind of reinvented himself, been very, very solid as a relief pitcher. The Cubs, obviously, they need relief pitching. They need it badly, so they're going to look to spend some money in that department. I think this makes a lot of sense for the Cubs. I would like it. I like the 4 years. $36 million is fine with me.
It seems like he fits better, though, in a more of a setup role than anything else.
Absolutely. I don't want him to be a closer.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, they sign a guy like Holland and then to a shorter deal, and then they get a guy like Addison Reed to be their eighth inning guy.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of money, though, for an eighth inning guy. $36 million, that's $9 million a year.
I mean, you look at the best eighth inning guys or whatever, Andrew Miller. I mean, they're going to be used for more than that come playoff time, which is what really matters, which is where you're really dishing out the money. So where it matters most, I think they become more valuable. And then what is it, 9 a year, right?
Yeah, 4 years, $36 million.
9 a year, it doesn't scare me that much. The Cubs in the next couple of years are going to come into a new TV contract. That's going to help out a ton. So because they're going to be over the luxury tax again for the second straight year. So it doesn't scare me that much for a guy. Over the last 2 years, 2.40 ERA, 9.8 Ks per nine, only 1.6 walks. That's the number that stands out to me. 1.6 walks per nine because the bullpen for the Cubs could not find the strike zone in October. That's the big thing.
The next one for me is super funny. Fucking Todd Frazier on here to the Mets for 3 years and $33 million. That's so much money for a guy who's going to be 32 years old and who plays at best. I mean, he can give you some above average defense at third, but most of the time he's been about average. And he either hits home runs, he hits pop-ups, or he strikes out. And what were his numbers this year? He had 220 with a 322 on base. This is over the last 2 years. 220 average, 322 OBP, and a 448 slugging. I mean, that's sick. Chicks dig the long ball and all that. But at the same time,
The Todd Father.
I think he needs to just stay in New York as a Yankee and get. He's gonna get like a 1 year deal and just be a bridge gap for Gleyber Torres.
Yeah. All right. Let's each pick one more. I'm going to pick. Yes, you guessed it. I was on him all year. John Jay. The former Cub, now a free agent. They've got him going to the Rangers. 2 years, $14 million. Listen, I applaud John Jay for everything he did as a Cub. Want him to stay around. 2 years, $14 million. I think is a pretty solid deal for John Jay like friendly for the team more than the player.
I think he can get more than that based
Yeah,
on
that's what I'm saying. Friendly for the team, but he said he wants to stay in Chicago. I hope he's telling the truth there because I would love to have him there as a fourth outfield option.
Well, it's not as simple as not telling the truth. I mean, if somebody offers you $5 million,
Well, sure, you can be swayed, but then you're still a liar. You're still a liar.
Oh, honey bunch, you'll be okay. You'll be okay regardless of what happens.
Whoa. Yeah, I just wanted to stay with the Cubs. I think he's a great asset to them. He showed it all year. He played himself into the everyday lineup in late September into October. So hopefully this is wrong. John Jay stays a Cub, but regardless, you thank John Jay for everything he did for the Cubs this season.
And one that I was going to talk about was Michael Brantley on here. But the day this article was written, Michael Brantley decides to
Indians saw this. They're like, shit,
to opt back into the Indians for 2018. So fuck that. But Jonathan Lucroy's on here at number 20 to the Rockies for 2 years at $24 million. First of all, I think that's a lot of money for Jonathan Lucroy. Also, he's a moron for vetoing his trade to Cleveland last year because he could have really helped them out. But at the same time, I want him to come to the White Sox, to be perfectly honest. The Diamondbacks, Athletics, and White Sox are listed on here as plausible fits. I think the White Sox need a short-term answer at catcher, like a one-year deal if Jonathan Lucroy has difficulty finding some suitors this offseason. And I think they need somebody else besides Kevin Smith and Omar Narvaez to, just eat innings and help the pitchers out, be a veteran presence. And, yeah, I think his bat can provide something to the lineup, whereas Omar Narvaez really doesn't provide much except for walks. So, yeah, I think Jonathan Lucroy would be a nice fit in Chicago.
All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Mom's Basement. Thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever it may be. We'll be back hopefully next week with another episode for you guys. More to discuss. We'll talk more NFL. I want to look at college football next week as well as we get closer to the playoff. Notre Dame's in a big game against Miami right now, so that's interesting. And obviously the number one team went down today, so we'll get more into college football in the coming weeks.
Wait. One second. I hate to cut you off. Two things. So first thing was, I want to give a shout out to my buddy AJ in the White Sox chat. He wanted me to mention Indiana State just beat the living shit out of Indiana last night in basketball, 90-69. Nice. And then we did have one inbox question that came in last minute. Yeah, I'm sorry. You'll have to do the outro again. I apologize, but this is from Matt McAlley on Twitter. He said, "Do you think the White Sox need to sign a lefty to the rotation to eat innings? And does having an already staff in the major leagues modern day, does that make a huge difference whether you have a lefty or you just run with all righties?" I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. When the Cubs won, didn't they have all righties in their rotation? Besides Lester?
16 besides Lester.
Oh, besides Lester. I did forget Lester last minute. But, I don't think it's super important. I think if a pitcher can pitch, it doesn't matter what hand he throws with. Matter. I mean, he's asking because Carlos Rodon's going to be out for the time being. And in the White Sox... Yeah, shut your mouth. And then in the White Sox farm, or in their core of young players, they have two lefties. They have Carlos Rodon, and then they have Jordan Guerrero, who I think could be a really good starter. But, everybody else is righty, so I think that's what prompted his question. And then as far as signing a lefty... I don't care in this year, for 2018.
They're going to sign John Lackey to eat innings.
And give up 40 bombs at the cell.
Yabo shots.
But, so in this year, no, I don't think it's going to matter very much because I don't think the White Sox have playoff aspirations this year. This year, you're just going to sign guys who can eat innings and, just kind of stay healthy. So
yeah, they're going to sign an innings eater, and it doesn't matter lefty, righty, does not matter. You can pitch. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
Yeah, so thanks for the question, Matt.
Thank you very much, Matt. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Mom's Basement. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever it may be. As always, we are on iTunes and YouTube. Make sure you don't leave without hitting that subscribe button below on the screen. The big red button right there says subscribe on it. We would greatly appreciate that. Tell your friends, tell your family, subscribe to Mom's Basement. My boy Kuzo is back in the game. He's got a computer again now, so he's supposed to be working on a new logo for us. Shout out to Kuzo for that. What?
No, it just feels like we go through logos pretty often.
Dude, no, I can talk to you about it later. I'm not going to discuss it here. I didn't like the way the one I was going to get looked on T-shirts. So, oh yeah, Kelly's in my mention. Shocker. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. That is Corey. I am Joe. See you guys next time. You ready? Are they making fucking pancakes?
I don't know. I thought something caught on fire.